stew. You can do as many carrots as you want. I'm just gonna do 3. It's raining hella cold here, so I'm gonna make beef stew. You can eat it whenever you want. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. All the veggies going back in here to re-rinse. Go ahead and re-rinse the veggies in the cutting board. Let's handle this meat. You can just get a roast, beef roast if you want, or any type of beef, and I'll be cutting them in cubes. About this size. Nothing too small. We're going to be browning the outside of the meat before we add to a stew. This piece of fat right here, I'll still add it to the stew just for flavor. For now, I'm gonna add onion powder to the beef for the stew. I can open this now, but I'll be adding this once I add the veggies. Tomato paste. Let's cut some potatoes. Gonna go ahead and rinse some potatoes. You can use any type. I like red potatoes. At some point, we'll be adding beef bouillon, flour, But before we cut the potatoes, because we'll be adding them last, we're gonna start the meat. So I'll turn it on low. At the very end, I'll add parsley. To get the meat started, we're gonna add butter and a little bit of Now I'll move you all over here. Hello. I'm making beef stew. It's a little bit cold over here, so that's what we're doing today. Alright. So let's go ahead. I've turned on the Dutch oven. I'm not going to use a crock pot. I have a Dutch oven which works pretty much the same. I've turned it on low, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of butter. We're gonna start by browning the meat. Raise you up so you can see. Alright, so far butter, garlic in the pan. Gonna turn it on medium. I'm gonna start adding the meat. Again, this is beef, it's a roast, and I've cut it into cubes. And I've added onion powder so far. I'm going to start cutting the red potatoes into quarters. Potatoes will be the very last thing that I add to the stew. I've got all the potatoes cut, so now we're gonna stir the meat. We're basically just browning the meat at this point. Brown the meat on all sides. So I'm gonna turn the Dutch oven up a little bit. As you can see, it's browning on one side, but you want it to cook more. But consistently flipping the meat over. while that cooks. Still flipping the meat to make sure all the sides are brown. We're going to go high. Turn the stove on high. We want to trap all the juices inside of the meat. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button for me. Double tap the screen. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm just browning all sides of the meat. I have other cooking videos on my page in the video section and live section. Still flipping the meat to make sure we get it brown on every side. Bought a light. Let's see how it works. See if this works. Ooh, that might be too heavy. 1 second. How's that? I don't know if that helps or not, but I added a light to the tripod. Let me know if it helps or not. I'm making beef stew. Browning the meat on every side still. Turning it up on high just to make sure. Okay, so I'm done. Definitely want to do this part on high. I will be removing the meat soon. This is creating some of the juice for the stew. Double tap if you haven't already. Thank you. Please and thank you. Alright, so it's starting to look like how you want it to look on the outside of your meat. And this is what I mean by that. You'll see the brown on the outside or the burnt. There you go. You definitely want that all around the meat. That's what's going to keep the juice inside of your meat. So we're searing the outside. This is a perfect example right here. There's another piece that you can see. That's how you want your meat to look. And they are all starting to do that now. Okay, we're gonna remove this, and I'll pour all the beef into this bowl for later. Keeping all that flavor inside of your Dutch oven. Turn it on low. We're gonna go ahead and add these veggies. We're gonna add a couple tablespoons of tomato paste. Garlic, you can do minced garlic or, what is that, garlic paste? You can do either one. Better than bouillon, beef flavor. Making a beef stew. We added the bouillon just now. Next, beef broth. This is the unsalted. You can get whatever or whichever one you like. Actually, before I do that, we're gonna add a little bit of flour. This is to thicken up your stew. onion powder. Let's do some pepper. And a little bit of garlic salt. You want to go ahead and mix everything together. The flour, again, is to thicken up your sauce for your broth. You can add more flour if you like. Turn this up to 3. And this is how it's looking so far. Let's add some more broth. I'm gonna get the seasonings off the edges. So I'm just using this to take that off. Now it's starting to look like beef stew. I've got my beef covered in the Tupperware, sealed. So I'm gonna let this stew, add some more beef broth. Let's do that now. Let's go ahead and add our meat and turn up the stove a little bit higher. Again, I've got all the beef here, already cooked and seared. I'll add a little water to that. And add that in with the broth, just to get the flavor out of the sides, and then I'll throw this to wash. Let's go ahead and put the lid on the Dutch oven. Turn it up a little bit higher, and we're gonna let that cook. That's gonna tenderize your meat. In about 20 minutes, I will be adding, I'll be adding the red potatoes in about 20 minutes. You don't want to add it right now because then your soup will become like a mush or some type of, I don't know, what is that, mashed potato soup. You definitely don't want that. So you're going to add these the last 30 minutes of cooking. So we're going to let that cook for another probably 20 minutes. Currently I have it on 7. So this is what it's looking like so far. Onion, celery, carrots. It's a beef roast cut up, seasoned with beef broth. and then adding potatoes at the end. The onions are simply just for flavor. You don't have to freak out, but it's really good for flavor. As far as seasonings, you always want to season to taste how you prefer. So you can always add pepper, garlic salt, onion powder, whatever makes sense to you, whatever you like, but I just use basic. I do unsalted broth because I'm adding just a little bit of garlic salt already, but like I said, however you prefer. I did also add a little bit of tomato paste, better than bouillon beef. Can you see that? Oh, there we go. That. And then minced garlic, and that's about it so far. So we're gonna let this continue to cook, and I will be posting a shorts for the finished beef stew. At the very end, when your stew is done, I'll be adding parsley for color and a little bit of flavor. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, I'll be posting a shorts for the finished stew, beef stew. Thank you.